What an interesting time we are living in. I think I'm tired of the word unprecedented, though. When I initially offered to lead worship, long before we had ever heard of coronavirus, my intention was to take this time to celebrate both National Poetry Month and Earth Day, whose 50th anniversary occurs this Wednesday. And I still intend to do that, however, as with everything nowadays, the reality of the pandemic lends its own voice. Some of us are consuming a lot of information. Some of us are limiting how much we can really take in at this time. Both are strategies that hopefully, if we found the right balance in our life, help us stay both reasonably informed, but also sane. One article that I came across and I've seen shared numerous times by friends and friends of friends from all political, socioeconomic, racial, and generational groupings is Julio Vincent Gambuto's essay in The Medium, Prepare for the Ultimate Gaslighting. You are not crazy, my friend. So much of this essay clearly resonated with so many people, and it did with me too. If you haven't read it, it is worth checking out. Bottom line, it is a warning to us all not to forget what we've learned, what we've seen, and what we've experienced during this time. Especially when the combined forces of big business and big government want us to forget what we witnessed and get back to the business of running the world's greatest economy. Never mind what the impact is on our planet, and no matter the glaring inequities in our system. And though I definitely responded to the overall thesis of his argument, there are two pieces that really spoke to me. I quote, "The heart is what has been most traumatized this last month. We are, as a society, now vulnerable in a whole new way. What the trauma has shown us, though, cannot be unseen. A carless Los Angeles has clear blue skies, as pollution has simply stopped. In a quiet New York, you can hear the birds chirp in the middle of Madison Avenue. Coyotes have been spotted on the Golden Gate Bridge. These are the postcard images of what the world might be like if we could find a way to have a less deadly daily effect on the planet." And the other piece that I just really stuck with me is what happened is inexplicably incredible. It's the greatest gift ever unwrapped. Not the deaths, not the virus, but the great pause. It is, in a word, profound. There's a great opportunity in front of us as perhaps restrictions on our movements begin to loosen and we are encouraged to return to our former lives. What could the world look like if we just had the will to find a way to have a less deadly effect on our planet? And I love the imagery of the great pause. How many times in our lives have we ever really had the opportunity to stop, to pause, to slow down long enough to evaluate and then reevaluate what we are doing, how we are living, what is truly important to us as individuals, to our families, to our communities, our country, our earth? And this is the gift that poetry gives us as well. The wonderful poet and theologian Friedrich Ochoma has this to say about this particular gift of poetry. Sometimes, rather than going for the high moment of drama, the high moment of the erotic, the high moment of the extraordinary, poetry will choose the small moment of pause, just to look at what's really happening, to look at a few layers deep, and to let that small pause, that ordinary moment, open up with all the fullness of its being to us. This stillness, the small pause, the ordinary moment, is what is most powerful in both poetry and in this extraordinary time. We have choices in front of us. Choices about what is essential, what do we truly want to put back into our lives, what can we live without. We have an opportunity to perhaps live truly as stewards of the earth rather than as her enslavers. And I will leave you with this poem by Harun Rashid. We fell asleep in one world and woke up in another. Suddenly Disney is out of magic, Paris is no longer romantic, New York doesn't stand up anymore, the Chinese wall is no longer a fortress, and Mecca is empty. Hugs and kisses suddenly become weapons, and not visiting parents and friends becomes an act of love. Suddenly, you realize that power, beauty, and money are worthless and can't get you the oxygen you're fighting for. The world continues its life, and it is beautiful. It only puts humans in cages. I think it is sending us a message. You are not necessary. The air, earth, water, and sky without you are fine. When you come back, remember that you are my guest, not my master.